Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? I'm here today to review a new comedy series on Netflix. And it's a series because it's more than one episode. It's actually three episodes. It's called Bumping Mics with Jeff Ross and Dave Attell. I saw the two comedians involved. I heard about that. I was starting an article rolling about the new show. I saw this, so I got to see it. I watched it Friday night. I'm reviewing it tonight, though. Sorry, now I'm going to put it up to upload tomorrow. And basically, the idea is I guess Jeff Ross and David Attell have been friends for a long time. A lot of the comedians who started the whole stand-up thing, sometimes they started about the same time. They seen each other's career and then become friends and stuff like that. David Attell and Jeff Ross is perfect example of this. I think I saw Jeff Ross. Seeing some comedy bits of his. I think this was all after I got out of the army. On Saturday Night Live, and I started seeing him doing roasts and stuff like that. He's a big part of the roast thing. Like he has some perfect thing. And then he had a show on Comedy Central, like a roast show, where he hosted by himself. That was like a half hour long. He ended with a thing like calling it too soon and did some jokes, and that was hit or miss. But I was a big fan of his. With David Attell, can't remember the first time I heard of David Attell, but he was on a show a long time ago on Comedy Central called Insomniac. My dad and I loved that show, and my friend John loved that show, and it was really funny about a guy going to do a show and then like exploring the nightlife of that city and stuff with lots of comedic adventures and stuff. I loved Insomniac. Great show, and it showed how funny he was. And then he was in some other shows. He was really funny usually. And then he was talking about he didn't have much of a movie career. He was in Pootie Tang, when I never saw, and he was in some short film. And it was weird. Back this was a long time ago. We used to have something called Plex that would play on Wednesday. It was a part of like Encore and stuff like that, and they would show like a bit of like of each type of channel they had each day, and then but they never had R-rated programming though. Now I can't remember what the David Attell one was, but they did show it. I did see the David Attell short film, and it was pretty good. He only had a small part in it though. Well, anyways, I find Netflix is doing a show called Bumping Mics, and this is something they've been touring the country doing, where they riff off each other, insult each other, tell jokes. If they tell a good joke, they take the mic and they bump it, just like you do a fist bump, like you know what I mean, with the mics. And they had a bunch of guests on there. Like the Friday show had like some comedians on it, and Bruce Willis was on there. They gave Bruce Willis a harmonica. He played harmonica a little bit. It was great. Saturday they had like Gilbert Godfrey and Bob Saget. They had a couple women on there. I think that was the second one. It had like one girl, I can't remember, and then the girl in the middle was very attractive. I don't know who she was, a comedian. There, Amy Schumer, and then in the middle there was some girl, and then another girl. I didn't, they didn't do close-ups, but the girl in the middle was very attractive. I have to look to see what her name was. And then they did the Sunday show, which I mean there were different lengths. Like I think the very first show was like 35 minutes, and the second show was like, first show might have been 30 minutes, second show 35 minutes, and the last show was like 45 minutes. I think the last one, 45 minutes, might have Paul Rudd and some other comedians and stuff on there. And amongst the comedy and stuff like that, they had like little behind the scenes or like little skits or like little interviews they did amongst each other. It was really, really good. And really good and very funny. And back to like really raunchy, offensive humor that was great. As far as what show was the best, by far the Saturday show. Gilbert Godfrey told some really raunchy jokes. The whole show was raunchy. The Saturday one was raunchy. That was the best one. That was a 10 out of 10. The Friday one was almost as good, like a 9.75 out of 10. I think the Sunday show was the weakest of the shows. But, I mean, they were all good. The Sunday show, I give it like an 8 out of 10, too. But overall, I give, like, with that, probably give like a 8.75 for the whole series. But the Saturday show, I would give it a 10 out of 10. But, I mean, the Sunday show, well, maybe more like a 9 out of 10. The Sunday show wasn't as good. It was dragged a little bit, but they were probably a little burnt out after doing like two shows at this place, and then doing a third one. And it's lots of like I don't know, on the spot. I don't think they rehearsed that much. And it was filmed in a place called Comedy Cellar in New York. I knew about the Comedy Cellar just because I remember way before he got into trouble and stuff like that. Louis C.K. had a great show on FX called Louis that I loved. And then it was weird because sometimes Louis would be all comedy and sometimes it'd be drama too. They have drama on there. And it always would start and sometimes end at the Comedy Cellar. And they show the show and he have like a piece of pizza and they go down to the Comedy Cellar. And that's how I found out about the show. And then he left it to do some internet thing. And then he did like the Saturday Night Live with a really disturbing monologue that wasn't funny. And that was like awful. And then not too long after, like 6 months after, he got in trouble. And you haven't seen Louis C.K. in a while. I think he went back to the Comedy Cellar, but I think he went back there to do a performance or something. But I don't know what's up with him. But I really like bumping mics with Jeff Ross and David Attell. It's so funny. I would have gave a perfect 10 out of 10 for the whole series, but I mean, like I said, the Sunday one dragged a little bit. It wasn't as good. But it doesn't mean it's not worth checking. It's definitely worth checking out. Because I've done videos saying, like, there's too many damn shows. You can't watch them all. But this is only 3 episodes, and they're not that long. The Sunday one seemed a little bit longer. But the Saturday one was the best, with by far. Can't repeat any of the jokes, though. They're really raunchy. Maggie. Honey, come on. Made me feel bad. I love you. So I hope you like this review, everybody. Till next time, please. Take care, my legion.